information.
Live from the Grenadian capital, this is the GBN television news. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
These have been tough times, and we could all use a helping hand to get through this period. GUT Credit Union gives you the opportunity to do just that without a worry. What are you looking forward to? A relaxing staycation? Brand new appliances or devices? Consolidating your debt to get more money in your pocket? Not a member? No worries. Come in and find out how you too can make the most of this offer. Call or visit us today. Yes, you can have a brighter Christmas season with GUT Credit Union. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
This is the GBN News for today, Thursday, December 3rd, 2020. I'm Beverly Telesford. In the headlines, Sea Dream won't be coming back to Grenada after all, as it calls off all winter cruises. Stiffer penalties for COVID rule breakers, fine increased by $15,000. Former Finance Minister Nazemberg says he will give the $3 million to teachers rather than spending on traffic lights. And the Senator says budget allocation puts agriculture in the doghouse, while government is dishing out $40.4 million for youth ministry with renewed focus on the new Imani program. Coming up in sports, Melbourne Stars calls up Grenada's Andre Fletcher to replace Johnny Bristow. And in around the globe, St. Lucia Tourism Minister says tourism looks favorable despite recent CDC rating. And the UN warns that violence and displacement pushes Burkina Faso on the brink of famine. We'll have the details of these and other stories after this message.
Get high making money moves with the NLA's new Aces High Scratch game with 4 chances to win. Beat the dealer's card to win the prize shown. Reveal an A symbol. And just like that, you are automatically a winner. Scratch away to win the top prize of $10,000. Win easy with Scratch. Must be 18 or older to play.
Good evening to our viewers and the listeners on K105. We begin with news that government is now seeking to amend Grenada's Quarantine Act Bill 2020, which covers all regulations that governs the island's response to COVID-19. The changes are expected to fortify Grenada's battle with the spread of COVID-19. Rena Pear tells us more in this report.
The changes to the Quarantine Act Bill 2020 seeks to increase the maximum penalty for disobeying all quarantine and COVID-19 regulations from a fine of $10,000 EC and imprisonment for 6 months to a fine of $25,000 EC and imprisonment for 1 year. It will also give the Minister for Health the power to create regulations specifically to the response to COVID-19. Seeking clarity from Attorney General Dashan Ramdani, he explained to GBN that these regulations will take immediate effect without an approval from the House of Representatives, but it can also be removed by the lower house if they are not in agreement with it. The final amendment, which is Section 4 of the Principal Act, inserts a new subsection to empower the minister to create offences in regulations for non-compliance and to set the maximum penalty that may be prescribed for any such offence. Minister for Health Nicholas Steele spoke of the amendments.
It allows the ministry to today, if the need be, to change
any of the regulations to keep the country safe and not have to wait 5, 6, 7, or 10 days to do so wherever it's necessary. And we've seen individuals put us at risk, and the courts basically don't have much leeway because of the level of the charges. So we're increasing those to give the courts more oomph, so to speak, with respect to individuals who plead guilty.
The health minister believes that this strengthens the country's quick response to COVID-19.
I think it does help, most definitely. Majority of us will agree that stiffer penalties for quarantine and breaches of the regulations would help as a deterrent and have people thinking twice about breaching our quarantine regulations. And it's the quarantine regulations. And then with respect to being able to react to this ever-changing world, ever-changing science, and epidemiological situation, yes, it puts us in a better position to tackle COVID-19.
The bill will be tabled in Parliament on Monday, December 14th, 2020. For GBN News, I am Rina Pear reporting.
On a sad note, tourism officials here are being sent back to the drawing board. They had hoped to get some limited start to the cruise sector, but now all their dreams are being shattered by Sea Dream 1, which was bound for Grenada but forced to turn back. We have this update from the GBN newsroom.
After 7 passengers and 2 crew members tested positive on Sea Dream 1 yacht cruise in early November, the company operating the luxury cruises has cancelled all its cruising operations after what was described as a disastrous restart that ended with a COVID-19 outbreak in Barbados waters. The cruise was the first in the Caribbean since the pandemic began, as it was heading out to begin a planned voyage to Grenada and Cancun Island. What was supposed to be a 7-day cruise to signify a comeback for the hard-hit sector had to be abandoned after passengers began to test positive for COVID-19 midday through the sail. The company, in a recent statement, explained that they will now spend time to evaluate and see if it is possible to operate and have a high degree of certainty for not getting COVID-19. The United States Center for Disease Control and Prevention lifted its cruise ban in November, but introduced requirements which companies must meet before resuming passenger sailings. Miami-based Sea Dream 1 could hold a capacity of 112 passengers, but in fall, with the COVID-19 rules, there was only 53 on board during the outbreak. For GBN News, I am Rina Pear.
Now that's some sad news for the people in the tourism sector. Moving now to other news, if one of Grenada's former finance ministers could lay his hand on $3 million and had a choice between teachers and traffic lights, which will he choose? Well, the government proposes to spend $3 million on reinstalling broken traffic lights. Plans for these were outlined in the 2020 budget yesterday. The 2021 budget, as presented by Finance Minister Gregory Bowen, allocates $3 million to undertake this venture.
The government will use this opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to incorporate renewable energy technologies in the retrofitting of our traffic lights, which will result in significant savings and environmental benefits. Given traffic has doubled since the installation of our traffic lights, the advice given by New York University while investigating the traffic situation under the consultancy from making the town of St. George a climate smart city will be incorporated in the new designs. A sum of $3 million is allocated for this project.
However, former Finance Minister Nazim Burke thinks the money could be put to more productive use. He thinks that teachers should be given priority over traffic lights.
If I had $3 million to spend now, rather than considering that the wardens are there and are doing what they're doing and helping with the flow of traffic, if I had $3 million to spend when I had to choose between giving it to the teachers and restoring the traffic lights, I will give it to the teachers. because I honestly do not believe that whether the traffic lights are working or not is going to make any significant difference in the flow of traffic in Grenada today.
Burke explained the rationale for his suggestion.
And I believe that with the help of a couple of wardens, the traffic can be regulated and directed quite freely, putting $3 million into the hands of the teachers, if that were the case, yeah? And because what it does is that it actually stimulates demand. It puts money in their hands, let them spend, which is what you want in an economic crisis. In an economic slowdown, you want to generate demand. You want people to be buying things. So put the monies in their hand and let them spend it. I am not making any judgment one way or another. I'm not saying that they should get their money or anything like that. I'm just saying the government has to send the right signals and show the right kind of prioritization. I would not spend that $3 million on fixing the traffic lights at this point.
In more budget news, agriculture has once again received one of the smallest pieces of the pie as the 2021 budget was delivered on Wednesday. Public opinion has been leaning heavily on tangible developments in the agriculture sector as a direct response to the COVID-19 pandemic. However, expectations and the actual allocation are far apart as heaven and earth. Jared Joseph has the details.
The allocation for agriculture has left the representative senator bewildered and scratching his head. The allocation for tourism also has him worried, with the sector heavily linked with agriculture. Senator Roderick Sinclair told the media on Wednesday that he is confused and wondering where the over $40 million is coming from when the initial amount allocated is $18.6 million.
Then let's say it is an agriculture project. You put it under the agriculture, but the project could be managed by Ministry of Infrastructure if that's the case.
Senator Sinclair says Purdia larceny was again slighted with no real effort to stamp out and eliminate the #1 problem affecting farmers.
So we need to put more resources into the whole issue of the wardens. I call them not pretty larceny task force because those seems to be working. What seems to be working is health wardens, traffic wardens. So let's say pretty larceny wardens, and I guess we would have real wardens who are localized within the communities. So instead of having like they're based in the police stations, say in Birch Grove area, you have some wardens that is residing and living there so they could protect the farmers.
He also had some radical measures to deal with this issue.
I went as far as thinking we need to look at maybe even having some sort of curfew in some of those hot spots, right? Because if you're not a farmer, what are you doing in a certain place 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock in the night?
Agro-processing is another concern the senator notes was snubbed, with the government leaning heavily on foreign investors rather than local processors.
We speak about the amount of monies from the GDB and so on that is available. I need to see some more details on that. How easily is that money accessible? Because I've had complaints that it's almost onerous as going to the banks in terms of collaterals and all of those things.
Farm labor support, which was boasted by government to receive a 330% increase, is also being slammed for operating out of the parliamentary office, or what is called the party office.
And so some people who have connected that also with a sort of syndrome that it could be the party office would not even go there to even get the service. Not that the farmers don't want the service. So we need to sort of step back some of them and do things a little bit different, as they say, is the optics, how it looking.
The Agriculture Center also had issues with a lack of farm mechanization and the closure of the unit within the ministry. He wants real plans and actions into revitalizing MNIB and increasing its role in providing markets for farmers and servicing government institutions. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
Meanwhile, Senator Roderick Sinclair is strongly condemning the most recent case of predial larceny, in which a St. Andrew farmer lost an estimated 600 pounds of ginger.
I want to state very clearly that I, on behalf of all the rest of farmers and fishers, condemn strongly the action that was taken against Tevin Alexander with the stealing of his ginger, and heavens knows what else they may be still up there that same night. I ask the person, whoever have done that, and I had appealed before, please surrender yourself. And whoever have in mind to get involved in any stealing for the rest of the year, stop it. Asking also from the magistrate, from the court standpoint, let us not delay the sentencing of these individuals once you catch them. Not just this particular individual, but all individuals, because when there is a delay of justice, it shows that anything goes. And so in 2021, we have to have a fight against pre-larceny. Despite the act that is established, we need to put in the same effort as we put in for COVID, and the same effort as we put in for traffic wardens.
He is calling on the relevant authorities to step up on their measures for the Yuletide season in relation to agriculture and farmers.
But at the same time, I'm calling for the Commissioner of Police, the Ministry of Agriculture, to let's put some strong implementation mechanism, particularly as it comes up to Christmas. Let us not only monitor the fields, but let us also go where we are buying, where the people are buying, go in the markets, go over the supermarkets, go there and check for the IDs, check. We speak about roadblocks to check for guns and drugs. Why are we not checking for stolen produce in that similar manner?
He is encouraging farmers to continue their trade and not be daunted by such acts, as food production is vital to Grenadians and the economy. Now, a St. Andrew man allegedly breaks in and rapes a 63-year-old. On Monday, December 1st, 2020, officers attached to the Grenville Police Station responded to a report of a house breaking in the community of Paradise, St. Andrew. Subsequently, Neron Thomas, a 34-year-old landscaper of Paradise, was arrested and charged for offenses of housebreaking and rape. Thomas was taken to the Grenville Magistrates Court on Thursday, December 3rd, and was remanded to Her Majesty's prisons. He will reappear in court on December 17th, 2020. Here's where we take a break, but still to come, Grenadians urged to continue practicing safe sex in recognition of World AIDS Day. This is News at 7. Stay with us.
Christmas is happening. Christmas is happening. Christmas is happening at Republic Bank. No interest rate happening. Quick approval happening. Christmas time happening at Republic Bank.
And 2020 on a merry note at Republic Bank as we spread the holiday cheer with our Make It Happen loans. Republic Bank is here to lighten up your spirit with quick approvals and cash prizes valued at over $10,000.
Christmas is happening at Republic Bank.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Christmas in Grenada plus Flow equals a tablet for your family. Get a Samsung A7 tablet for only $80 when you add your mobile to your home services bundle. Save 50% on your mobile bill and spend the holidays connected with faster internet speeds. Call us today at 1-800-804-2994 and sign up.
Need a quick, convenient way to pay your bills and avoid lines? Use the online banking feature from Republic Bank, First Caribbean, or Co-op Bank. Contact them today to set up your online banking and enjoy 24-hour convenience to make your bill payments. Stay safe. Grenlec, we are united even when we are apart.
Food is fundamental, and at Caribbean Agro Industries Limited, we source premium quality wheat and other ingredients so you get the best results in the kitchen, bakeries and farms. For over 35 years, we've supplied Grenada with the finest flour and animal feed. The tastiest cakes, pastries or breads are baked with the region's finest flour. Buy the products you've trusted for all these years. Baker's Pride, Supreme and Sunshine Flour. Get the best from your farm animals with our master mixed feed brands. Support local. Buy products that are made in Grenada. Call us on 440-2954 or visit us at Mount Gay St. George or check our Facebook page. Caribbean Agro Industries Limited, a subsidiary of ADM. Unlocking nature, enriching life.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
Ariza Credit Union wishes you a joyous and peaceful Christmas. May you and your loved ones continue to be safe as you enjoy the festive season.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
Ariza Credit Union, your financial freedom, your future.
We're here to make you happy, 'cause that's what we do.
Introducing the new Digicel Prime Bundle. It's simply more bundled together. 54 gigs for 7 days for only $25. More data, more fun. Activate today on the My Digicel app.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
Christmas is happening. Christmas is happening. Christmas is happening at Republic Bank. Low interest rate happening. Quick approval happening. Christmas time happening at Republic Bank.
And 2020 on a merry note at Republic Bank as we spread the holiday cheer with our Make It Happen loans. Republic Bank is here to lighten up your spirit with quick approvals and cash prizes valued at over $10,000.
Christmas is happening at Republic Bank.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
We begin the second segment with some great news as Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell promised to invest more resources in empowering the nation's youth. He will start that promise by dishing out $40.4 million of the 2021 budget to the ministry he now spearheads. As part of his ministry's agenda is a plan to implement an exit strategy for the new Imani program.
In October this year, after taking up the Youth Development Ministry portfolio, Prime Minister Dr. the Right Honourable Keith Mitchell, in a statement issued, said, and I quote, "I am prepared in the upcoming budget cycle to seek additional resources," unquote.
We have listened to the voices of our youths who have suggested transforming the program to offer more skill-based exposure to trainees, to better prepare them for the job market and for self-employment. Therefore, work on the skill-based approach and its alignment to national needs has commenced. In 2019, government expended $22.2 million on the program. And with the restructuring and reallocation, 2020 will now see an expenditure of $17.8 million.
It is with this in mind that it was no surprise when Finance Minister Gregory Bowen announced that the youth budget gets $40.4 million from the $1,232,670,049 budget for 2021.
Budget will see a 43% increase over the 2020 figure to $40.4 million, of which $17.9 million, Mr. Speaker, is allocated for the important new Imani program.
In the 2020 budget presentation, then Finance Minister Dr. Mitchell said government is working towards an exit strategy aimed at creating sustainable employment for the unabsorbed youths in the Imani program. Finance Minister Bowen disclosed some of the initiatives under this program.
Mr. Speaker, a significant change to the budget for youth development this year is the inclusion of a transition and strategy program, which will complement the new Imani program. This program seeks to address the fundamental challenge associated with transitioning from the Imani program into sustainable jobs. Under the program, service providers will be engaged to provide services to the government and to the private sector, and they will in turn provide sustainable jobs to our young people. Several initiatives have already been rolled out, including a youth sewing cooperative that will be involved in the sewing of school uniforms and other clothing products, and a furniture making cooperative. Mr. Speaker, a budget of $7 million has been allocated to facilitate the rollout of this program next year.
Meanwhile, the Empower program, which caters to the needs of young at-risk youth, has also seen an increase in budget from $4 million this year to $6 million in 2021. Blossom Alexis Welsh, GBN News.
And now a sigh of relief as Monday, November 30th officially marked the final day of the Atlantic hurricane season. a record season at that. Grenada has escaped the season scotch-free as the country experienced neither storm nor hurricane this year. Details in this report.
The 2020 hurricane season has undoubtedly been a memorable one for the state of Grenada. This season was forecast to be busy, and indeed it was, with a record-breaking 30 named tropical storms, including 13 hurricanes and 6 major hurricanes. The season began early when Tropical Storm Arthur formed on May 14th, more than 2 weeks before the Atlantic hurricane season officially began. For the second time in recorded history, the National Hurricane Center used every name on the predetermined list of names for tropical systems in the Atlantic basin, prompting the use of the Greek alphabet to name storms for the remainder of the season. Though 2020 was busy, Grenada was not directly affected. Senator Winston Garraway, minister responsible for disaster management, in an official address to mark the end of the 2020 Atlantic hurricane season, says the country ought to be grateful for remaining unscathed, as other islands cannot say the same.
Though as a state we were not directly impacted by any of these systems, not all share our story, as our brothers and sisters in Guatemala and Nicaragua are today counting their losses. They were impacted by Hurricanes Eta and Iota days apart. Many lives were lost and millions estimated in damages to the infrastructure.
Senator Garraway says though the uncertainty of the hurricane season no longer weighs heavy on the population, other dangers still exist.
In Grenada, we encourage all citizens to remain vigilant as we still live in the midst of a dangerous COVID-19 pandemic. Please be reminded, a country's wealth is dependent on the health of its people. I therefore encourage all to adhere to the protocols as outlined by the Ministry of Health. Let us always be prepared for all hazards that have the potential to affect us.
The season runs annually from June 1st to November 30th. During the peak of this year's season, there were 5 tropical cyclones in the Atlantic at the same time: Paulette, Renee, Sally, Teddy, and Vicky, for only the second time in recorded history. Blossom Alexis Welsh, GBN News.
Now, don't let your guards down. HIV and AIDS is still around. World AIDS Day was observed on December 1st. With the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, attention appears to be shifted in that direction. However, people are reminded that AIDS and other sexually transmitted diseases are still prevalent. Today in GBN Health, we look at HIV and AIDS from a Grenadian context. GBN Health comes to you compliments Gittins Healthcare.
When you need your prescription filled or you require non-prescribed medication, supplements, or all your personal needs, visit Gittins Healthcare at locations on Wall Street, Grandans, Victoria Street, Beverly, and Central Deputy Street, Wall. Gittins Healthcare aims to provide an exceptional personalized pharmacy experience. Additionally, children under 5 and adults 55 years and over will enjoy 10% discount on purchases of $20 and over on prescription medication. Stop settling for less. Visit Gittins Healthcare, where your health is our priority.
What is more important for us to understand is what we have done with HIV treatment over the years. It is now possible to live a full and healthy life with HIV. It is now possible to live a full life, achieve all you can achieve in life, and live for a much longer time and die at a ripe old age with HIV. And I think this is significant for us.
Dr. Francis Martin, Acting Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health. P.S. Martin says if persons take their medication and the virus is suppressed, it is difficult to pass it on to another person. On a positive note, he says people are getting tested, most of whom are females. However, HIV and AIDS appears to be more prevalent among the male population, raising concern among health officials here.
There is a gender disparity with our HIV, both in testing and with positive results. We have a lot more male patients being HIV positive than female. But what we found out is that a lot of more females are tested than males. figures, although over the years that gap has been closing. And I'm hoping that this year's statistics would close the gap even further. Because if you have more females being tested, but more males are positive, it actually sends a very interesting picture that if we do test more males, we may end up having a lot more positive results. And that's very concerning for us in the public health response.
According to P.S. Martin, there is a bit of good news. Though not significant, there has been a decrease in the number of new infections for the past 2 years.
In 2018, we had around 27 cases. In 2019, 26 cases. That still is something that is of concern to us. What I would like to highlight here, though, is that a very significant improvement have been made in terms of our mother-to-child transmission of HIV. In 2018, for example, we had 8 babies born to HIV-positive mothers, but only one of the babies were HIV positive, and that's because the mother was non-compliant. And what that says to us is that our treatment guidelines and our technology has gotten to the extent and to the level where it is possible for a baby to be born to an HIV positive mother and be negative.
Stigma and discrimination continues to be a bane in society in reference to persons with HIV and AIDS. What people need to understand is that there can be co-infections between COVID and HIV. He explained that once a person's immune system is compromised, it's quite easy to get another infection. Overall, behavioral patterns are all contributing factors, and it's up to an individual to protect themselves and be responsible. Christina John, GBN News.
It is indeed important to know your status, and I encourage you to get tested. Now, we've arrived at the point where we turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Trelana Charles has been looking around the platforms.
This is Social Buzz, where we shine a light on the thoughts and concerns of our online audience. The 2021 budget has been presented.
The 2021 estimate of expenditure provides for a total expenditure including amortization of $1,232,670,049.
My observation is that this budget is nothing else but a budget of a lot of loans, a lot of grants, and really and truly it's not hitting in the productive sector. Very little attention is being paid to agriculture. I hardly heard anything about fisheries, as a matter of fact.
Our viewers were quick to join the conversation and let their opinions be known. James commented, "This budget is pure academics, a bunch of unrealistic numbers to make a good appearance. That's political gymnastics." Marsha had a similar thought. She said, "On the NNP, agriculture is dead. This has been going on for too long. Farmers lose too much over the years. Policy is more important than agriculture now. Oh, please." Another individual said, "While this government complains of shortfalls in revenue and is asking public servants to defer their 4% interest in January, the same government continues to hire more traffic wardens and health wardens, put out more imanis and debushers, and they have now announced plans to introduce yet another safety net program in the Ministry of Social Development." Meanwhile, Ian said, "The world is going into an economic recession. Some countries have more resources than Grenada and predicted negative growth in 2021. But Grenada predicted 6% growth. Total nonsense. Tourism is a main revenue and that is on hold for a while. This is unrealistic." But another person has a different view and commented, "I believe that the Minister of Finance must be commended for his presentation of what I would call a relatively good budget in such a time like this. I believe it is a great idea to place emphasis on infrastructure, which receives the largest piece of the pie. It really means that all other areas will benefit, including agriculture. The budget has been presented in a time when it is definitely not business as usual. I call on the church community to continue to seek God in prayer on behalf of our beautiful nation." That's it for tonight's Social Buzz. As always, if you would like to have your thoughts and concerns shared, comment on GBN's Facebook page.
It's time to take a peek through the GBN ISA lens to see what our citizen journalist has captured.
A good eye captures all. GBN ISA is brought to you by Clear Vision.
You know us, but we knew. You feel at home with every visit. An experienced team offering personalized courtier service and trendy brand name lifestyle products. We're changing the vision care landscape one customer at a time. Clear Vision Eye Center. People and technology coming together to help you see the world with a clearer vision.
Tonight, our ISA reporter is concerned over what she calls apparent neglect in the area around the Belmont Springs Junction. The reporter says over a year she has noticed the area is overlooked when the debushing program is underway. She hopes her submission can draw some attention to the issue. Send us your interesting photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 4053052 or our other social media platforms.
And now for a break, but still ahead, the Grenada Cooperative Bank records after-taxes profit despite a decrease over 2019. We'll have more when we return.
This holiday season, let Juve bring you 100% joy with its magical chocolate products. Holidays from the management and staff of Juve Chocolate. Juve Chocolate, raise your bar.
Running low on groceries? Why not visit realvalueiga.com and experience our new online shopping platform. Place your order, then go out and enjoy your day to spend more time with friends and family. Delivery available within select locations or in-store pickup available. Sounds simple, right? It is. Stress less, live more with Real Value IGA online store, where good food begins.
This Christmas, we need the good vibes more than ever. At LA Purcell, shop all new selections at our home goods, appliance, and hardware stores. Brighten things up at our color center with paint to put the finishing touches on the industry's best building supplies. Last but not least, our annual yard sale is on again for 2 weeks at the LA Purcell car park in town and 3 weeks at our Riverwood store, both starting December 5th. Come and name your price. And remember, Purcell's motto is cash if you have it or credit if you want it.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, easy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, It's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex or give them a call 440-1015 or 440-1016 or check out their website hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
This is GBN. We've got the means, the power, and the medium. This segment is brought to you by Flow.
Christmas in Grenada plus Flow equals a tablet for your family. Get a Samsung A7 tablet for only $80 when you add your mobile to your home services bundle. Save 30% on your mobile bill and spend the holidays connected with faster internet speeds. Call us today at 1-800-804-2994 and sign up.
Welcome back. Grenada Cooperative Bank records after-taxes profit of $9.6 million in 2020, a decrease of 0.4% over 2019. In presenting the bank's end-of-year performance, one recommendation coming from Thursday's presentation is an encouragement for persons to take advantage of online transactions as concerns are raised on banking fees.
The months October 1st, 2020 to March 31st, 2021 are expected to be the most trying months for the banking sector throughout the region, Grenada inclusive. That's according to Managing Director of the Grenada Cooperative Bank, Richard Duncan. He explained why this will be so.
The program ends on September 30th, 2021. At that point, you would have interests that have been accumulated over the last 18 months to contend with. We're not too sure if the economy will be strong enough that tourism arrivals would be back to pre-COVID levels. The bank, currently, we are contemplating the techniques, the strategies, the analyses that we will do to work with our customers one by one.
Credit unions remain one of the major competitors in the banking sector, to which Duncan admits has gained grounds in the commercial sector over the years. However, he believes the regulations under which credit unions operate should be reviewed.
It would be remiss of me if I, as an economist, and not speaking on behalf of the bank now, do not make the point that the uneven playing field, the unregulated way in which the credit unions are engaging in banking business is not a good sign. And while we welcome competition, I believe that the evolution of the financial space and credit unions in particular calls for a relook of the regulatory environment to ensure that that evolution and that growth continues in an environment of safety and soundness.
Darrell Brathwaite, chairman of the Grenada Cooperative Bank, speaking on the bank's performance for the past year, says this performance is credited to the improved credit and liquidity risk management. He said non-performing ratio remains below 1% as of September 30th, 2020. The bank total assets grew by 11%, or $123.3 million, and now stand at $1.29 billion. This growth, he says, is reflected in the bank's consumer loan portfolio.
This bank realized solid performance at the end of the 2020 financial year, though impacted by the economic downturn brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. This year marks a flattening of the bank's after-tax profit following 6 consecutive years of steady growth. Such performance must be viewed in the context of a weakened economy, a ferociously competitive market, and astute management and leadership of the bank. Though the economy continues to reel under the reduced tourism activities brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic. The impact of the banking sector has been ameliorated by the ECCB-supported loan moratorium program.
Christina John, GBN News.
Now, when receiving gifts for Christmas, one would hardly expect a brand new home. Well, a twin sister family from Lauriston, Carriacou was handed the keys to their newly built home, constructed by the Division of Housing in the Ministry of Carriacou and Petit Martinique Affairs in collaboration with corporate citizens and community members.
The living condition of the twin sisters and their families was discovered by Minister for Carriacou and Petit Martinique Affairs, Kendra Matuin-Stewart, during a constituency visit in the community. Minister Stewart emphasized the importance of the initiative and encouraged the family to cherish and take good care of their newly constructed home, which she believes will impact their lives in a positive way.
I am very, very happy and pleased that we're able to bring comfort to these two young ladies and their children. I'm happy that we're able to put a decent and comfortable roof over their heads. As human beings, I think that this is one thing that we all strive for, to be comfortable, to have a place where we can call home, to have a place where we can rest when the night comes, to have a place where we can shelter from the ailments, to have a place where we can cherish. And I think this is what we have brought here today for these two young ladies.
The minister said the initiative formed part of government's commitment to improve the comfort level and standard of living of individuals and families who are in desperate need for housing repair assistance or the construction of a home in some instance. The new home brings the total houses constructed through the collaborative effort in Carriacou and Petit Martinique for the year thus far to 6. Social Development Coordinator in the Ministry of Carriacou and Petit Martinique Affairs and Local Government, Venetia Kojo, encouraged the twin sisters to appreciate the importance of the gesture.
The need for a home lives in all of us, the safe place where we can go as we are, not be questioned. Maya Angelou.
The family was also presented with a gift by the housing officer in the Ministry of Carriacou and Petit Martinique Affairs on behalf of some of the citizens in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. For GBN News, I am Rina Pear reporting.
Such a beautiful gesture. Now, on another note, from December 1st, Grenada added another layer to its COVID-19 prevention measures. Travelers entering the country must now show a travel certificate on arrival at the Maurice Bishop International Airport. When applying for such certificate, one of the misconceptions was that a PCR test result is needed in order to complete the application process. Health Minister Nicholas Steele says it isn't so.
When we said we would like you to start this process for the entry certificate at least 48 hours before, we did not expect that you could only begin it if and when you had your PCR test result as well. Because completing the entry certificate, and you can complete the process without the PCR test result in hand.
The minister said though the PCR test isn't necessary to complete the application for the entry certificate itself, and one can receive the certificate before obtaining the PCR test result, when boarding a flight to Grenada, it is required that the passenger presents the travel certificate together with their PCR test result.
Receive an entry certificate, but that entry certificate and the airlines and everybody is very much aware that there are two documents that must be presented together to check in and board a flight. It is the entry certificate and it is the PCR test. Please proceed with your entry certificate application, whether you have your PCR test results in hand or not. There are two separate processes. You do need both to check in and board a flight.
Stay with us. The weather and sports are up next.
Hey, man. Well, man, that's you making us that trip. Why do all this more?
Things tight since COVID, you know. And Christmas coming, the toys to build, and my house and my car to repair, and the wife want to look with and what you want me to do?
I'm expected to do all that with more.
Well, what you want me to do?
Why don't go down my communal? You don't have to pay them until January. They have 20,000 in giving away, and the interest rate low.
And listen to me, I try them orders and them never look good. Who they want them on?
Well, watch. Like you have more than your ass. Choose your loan at communal, giving you the money for what you want to do. It's a loan for you.
You know what? I'll get them a little try.
Listen. Where you going on this mode? You don't need it. Leave the mud, man. When you go down there, the rate's low. Low.
It's new, innovative and classy, and a cut above the rest. Your one-stop shop for bathtubs, kitchenette, customized doors and windows, and even a new paint job. We also sell quartz and solid surface countertops. At M&N Hardware, we offer best prices, excellent service, efficiency, and reliability. Visit us at Dusty Highway, Grandin, St. George, or call telephone number 440-6757. M&N Hardware, from foundation to roof. Let's build together.
Tropical shipping is fast and reliable. Always on time, safe and affordable. Friendly staff here to connect you. Tropical worldwide, you must get you. Shop online and you get it on time. Hassle free to meet your deadline. Consolidate any size, any load with tropical shipping, so we ship everything. I can't wait to ship with tropical. Can't wait. No package to big, no small. I cannot wait to ship with tropical. No package too big, too small. Just ship with tropical.
Local agents, George F. Huggins and Company, Grenada Limited. Telephone number 440-8787, or visit our website at www.tropical.com. Email us at grenadasales@tropical.com. Tropical Shipping, committed to island life.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements? Or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Keeping an eye on the weather. This is GBN. We've got you covered.
Weather for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique valid for tonight and the following 3 days. Weather tonight partly cloudy with the occasional light to moderate isolated showers. Tonight's minimum temperature 24 degrees Celsius. Winds northeasterly to east-northeasterly at 8 to 18 miles per hour, becoming variable to calm at times. Seas moderate, waves 4 to 6 feet in open water. A small craft advisory is in effect. Tides low at 11 p.m. Weather for Friday, partly cloudy with light to moderate isolated showers during the day, becoming fair by evening. Weather for Saturday, December 5th, mostly fair with the occasional partly cloudy spells. And weather for Sunday, December 6th, mostly fair, becoming partly cloudy at times with brief nighttime showers. evening, sporting fans. The Melbourne Stars have signed West Indian T20 opening batsman and wicketkeeper Grenada's Andre Fletcher following confirmation that Johnny Bairstow has had to withdraw from the BBL after being recalled by the ECB. Fletcher has been in New Zealand with the West Indies T20 squad and is a teammate of fellow Stars signing Nicholas Pooran. Fletcher is vastly experienced on the T20 circuit, playing more than 200 T20 domestic matches around the world, including in the Caribbean Premier League, the Canadian G20, Pakistan Super League, and Bangladesh Premier League. He played a key role in the St. Lucia Zouks reaching the CPL final this year.
Good day to all my Melbourne Stars fans. This is Andre Fletcher, also known as the Spice Man. And hear what? I'll be joining you guys this year in the BBL tournament, where we'll be mixing victories with fun. Obviously, there must be fun once the Spice Man is around. So yeah, I'll be coming over shortly to join the Melbourne Stars team. You know, there will be great fun, as I said. We'll be, enjoying ourselves, enjoying each other's success. And I can't wait to join this beautiful team.
Meanwhile, New Zealand captain Kane Williamson was closing in on his 22nd Test 100 as the home side had the better of the opening day of the first Test against West Indies. He was unbeaten on 97 at the close, with the hosts on 243 for 2 on a grassy pitch at Seddon Park in Hamilton. Opener Tom Latham missed out on 3 figures when he perished for 86, while veteran Ross Taylor is 31 not out and will resume the second day alongside Williamson. The first session was lost to rain before a ball was bowled. Here are some match highlights.
More runs for New Zealand and Latham. Slightly shorter boundary that side. And rolls into the markings. Unbelievable. Darren Bravo left it for Shane Dorridge, who committed and then pulled out. He gets it this time. A reprieve by way of Dorridge. Gabriel strikes back. Beautiful. Bigger side of the ground over that way. Just dribbles in.
Bowled a decent spell.
Bowled got it through. This time up and a little bit of movement back. And the West Indies have finally broken through.
We begin the program on the globe in St. Lucia, where the Tourism Minister, Dominic Feeney, says that tourism prospects for St. Lucia still look favorable despite a recent CDC rating. Here is more from Nelsia Shamaline.
As we reported on Monday, the Centers for Disease Control in the United States issued a new travel rating for St. Lucia. The island has now been rated as high risk, and any non-essential travel to St. Lucia is ill-advised. Now, Tourism Minister Dominic Feeney has reacted to the new advisory. The travel rating also advises U.S. residents to quarantine upon return from St. Lucia and to take a COVID-19 test 1 to 3 days after returning. I asked Feeney whether he thinks this will affect visitor arrivals.
We have been at level 5 before,
And I am heartened by the fact that, we're not the only ones at level 3. There are 20 countries in the Caribbean that are at level 3. The only countries, or the very few countries, that have remained below level 2 or more are countries that have not opened up their tourism or opened up their economies as we have.
According to FEDE, the more risk you take, the more exposure there will be. Now, as St. Lucia battles over 115 active cases of COVID-19 with an already strained healthcare system, how do tourism officials effectively market the country? The tourism minister added once more that St. Lucia was previously rated at level 5. A few months ago, the St. Lucia Tourism Authority boasted a level 1 rating where the risk of COVID-19 was deemed to be low. However, as of November 30th, American tourists are warned that traveling to St. Lucia could increase the risk of contracting COVID-19. For Choice News Now, Nelsia Shalmine reporting.
Meanwhile, at least 500,000 children are going hungry because of violence and displacement in Burkina Faso. And the United Nations is warning they are just a step away from famine. Al Jazeera's Nicholas Haig reports.
Tired and hungry, Habib Usor and her 3 young children are desperate to reach a UN clinic. At nearly 2 years old, her son Hussein weighs as much as a newborn. Once they arrive, the UN nurse provides them with small sachets of peanut paste, the only meal the family will have on this day. She says all she wants is to return home. Sor fled her village in Burkina Faso after it was attacked by armed groups linked to Al-Qaeda and a local affiliate of ISIL. She says the men were set aside and shot dead.
Everything is different now from what it was in the village. Just to have the bare minimum to survive is very hard. We don't eat enough and we have nothing to live from, like we used to in the village.
For Sor and her children, this is now home. But these makeshift camps deep in Burkina Faso Sahel's region provide no shelter from hunger. The UN estimates more than 7 million people are suffering from acute malnutrition in the Sahel, warning of a looming food crisis, with children most at risk.
Some of the women here have been psychologically affected by the violence and attacks. So how can a woman who is psychologically affected get her child out of a cycle of malnutrition? So we have this kind of situation which is not easy to deal with. The other day I was pulling too much on this woman and I asked her why she was always together with her child. Why? Why? She said because my father-in-law eats the child's rations.
Not enough food, too many people hungry. And yet this summer's rainy season brought the heaviest downpours in years. Farmers say the conditions are perfect for growing crops and feeding cattle, if only they could reach them. In November, Burkina Faso's president Marc Kabore won a second mandate with a promise for a safer future. But the fighting with armed groups is intensifying and spreading, making it difficult for farmers to return to their land. And caught in the middle are mothers like Habib Usor, who can no longer feed their children. Nicholas Hawk, Al Jazeera.
That's it for the probe around the globe. When we return, a recap of the headlines. Recapping the main points this evening, Sea Dream won't be coming back to Grenada after all, as it calls off all winter cruises. Stiffer penalties for COVID rule breakers as the fine is increased by $15,000. Former Finance Minister Nazem Burke says he will give the $3 million to teachers rather than spending on traffic lights. Senator says budget allocation puts agriculture in the doghouse, while government is dishing out $40.4 million for youth ministry with renewed focus on the new Imani program. In sports, Melbourne Stars calls up Grenada's Andre Fletcher to replace Johnny Bairstow. And in Around the Globe, St. Lucia Tourism Minister says tourism looks favorable despite recent CDC rating. If you missed any part of this newscast, a repeat of it will be broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online at gbn.gd or on GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel for these and other top stories. I'm Beverly Telesford. That's news. Good night.